So today I'm going to be making a sunflower bowl. It's one of my most favourite flowers. Once my daughters threw a whole lot of sunflower seeds in our paddock, and a few months later I ended up with my own sunflower field, which was so cool and so pretty. So I thought I would show you how we can use this 30cm slump mould that's made by Bot Pots here in New Zealand, and how easy it is to create your own flower bowl. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to roll out the clay, then we're going to add it into the slump mould and start forming our sunflower design. The clay that I'm using today is Laguna's Paper Clay. Love using the paper clay. It's very easy to sculpt, and it also has a very strong clay that's suitable for creating larger forms such as these large bowls. So let's get started. Alrighty, so what we want to do is wedge. Give your clay a good wedge by using these parts of your hand and just pushing forward and pushing down. When you've finished wedging your clay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be whacking it down. This helps to compress the bubbles out. So we're whacking it into a ball shape. All right, so I've got my rolling pin is just a piece of round wood that I bought at the hardware store. I was able to cut these into different lengths which suit my projects, and they're nice and smooth and a great alternative to rolling pins. So what I like to do first is actually whack my clay. So this helps take out your frustrations from the day. Give it a good whack. And it saves a lot of rolling because I'm already flattening it down. All right, so now we're ready to start our rolling. So what you want to do is hold your rolling pin evenly on both sides. You can get little strips of wood that are going to help you get your clay to an even thickness. So what you're doing is you're pushing down and pushing across your clay. Push down and across. Flip your clay. So when you're turning your clay around every time you roll it, whatever direction that you turn it and push it is the direction that you're going to spread your clay out. So I'm wanting to create quite a round form, so I'm going to be turning my clay quite often just to try and keep that shape that I want. So I'm just going to flip it, I'm going to turn it. And I'm applying even pressure on both sides of my rolling pin. And it's a good idea to have a rolling pin that's wider than the clay you want to form. So my clay it's around about 1/2 centimetre thick, which I think is a good thickness for this type of bowl. So we're just smoothing that down, and pushing down and compressing the clay. I'm going to take my clay and we're going to slump it into our pot. Slumping it down. And what I'm doing is I'm just gently pushing it, packing it down and folding any little darts on those edges. So I'm going to take that, cut that extra clay out. And then we're going to join those edges together, and you're just wanting to just blend that nicely with your hand, pushing it down. Use your thumb, join those edges. I'm going to take my little mud tools rib and I'm just going to spread that out, pushing it out, smoothing it off. I'm just blending that clay in together. And when you're pushing it out, it's actually smoothing it on the other side of your bowl as well. Okay, so I'm going to take my rib and I'm just going to trim the excess off the top. So what you want to do is we want all of our rim to be as even as possible. So we want to keep working those sides, pushing it out, smoothing it out so that you're getting a nice even rim on your bowl. So now those side walls are looking nice and even. What I'm going to do is put my bowl out in the sun and just leave it to firm up, and what I call setting up, and just let it firm up for my walls firm up before I start shaping my flower. I've got my bowl which is ready to come out of this mold, but we're going to leave it in here while we design our sunflowers. So by leaving it in the slump mold, it enables you to push out against the walls and really work your clay without losing this beautiful shape. So what I'm going to do first, we'll just pop this down here. So what I'm going to do is, with my sunflower, is I'm going to use my pencil just to draw some of my petals in it. So I'm just going to mark out my center. Sunflowers have quite a large center form, so I'm just roughly marking where that's going to be. So I'm going to be doing my bigger petals, so I'm just drawing these out. So I like to use a pencil, and I'm just creating quite a simple So that's my first tier of flowers, and then with it being a sunflower, I'm going to do some smaller flowers in here. So once again, I'm just drawing my design. Some of these ones I'm just overlapping them. I'm trying to make my shapes a little bit more organic. So what I want to do now is I'm just taking my finger and I am erasing those middle pencil lines just so that I don't get confused. Just pushing it down. Because I haven't made these really deep, but they're really easy just to push out. So we turn down. So now you can see we've got more distinctive design for our sunflower. This is just rough at this stage. It doesn't matter if, because we're going to develop the shape once we start to form some of these. It would be a lot easier with a knife tool. But anyway, I do not want big scratches in my beautiful mold. I'd love to know where you're watching from, so write in the comments. It's cool to see what people are doing all around the world, and hopefully I can inspire somebody to give this a go. It's actually a really simple process using these slump molds. You can use bowls in your kitchen. You've just got to make sure that you line it. A lot of people I see use pantyhose or Glad wrap or something like that as a liner, just to make sure that it doesn't stick. All right, so we've done that. So now what we're gonna do is start forming these leaves. We're gonna tidy this up later, but what we're doing is we're just building our initial shape. So we're gonna take some fresh clay. I'm just putting that wee piece of clay on that line. I'm pushing it down with my finger, and I'm just creating the illusion that this was a little leaf. Taking that off there. That's it there. So we're just going to pop that on there. And we're mushing it down, blending it in. And see, by doing this, what we've done is we've made this leaf here look like it's behind this leaf, just by placing that tiny little edge on there. And this means that you're not trying to attach a whole lot of individual petals and get that. And then this also means that when you have finished your bowl, you're not going to have any deep cracks that food or liquids can soak into. So we're going like here. This is my next one. Now this one, because this is a leaf inside a leaf, what we want to do is try and keep that point at the top. So we're just going to take my little thumb tool, which is hiding from me. Thumb tool. I just want to push that down. And so what I've done is I've kept the top of that leaf. Bring that down. So really smoothing this down, getting rid of all of my marks and softening all of these little petals into a nice smooth form. So I'm pushing these petals really firmly into the walls of the pot. And while it's still in the slump mold, this is when you can do that without losing any of your form, which is why I really like working with them. Okay, so I've got this beautiful little saucer I'm going to use as my template. So what I'm going to do is just cut needle tool, wet my fingers, just going to smooth off the outer edge. I'm just going to score the inside of my pot. Going to paint some slip in there. All right, so we're just going to pop a little centerpiece in, set that down, and I am just pushing my pencil down. Zoom in here to show you. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is take this out of this slump mold so that we can start tidying up some of these edges and finish our beautiful bowl. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pop this soft cloth in here because I don't want to damage the leaves, and this is a really heavy pot. Over. So what I want to do is I want to just drop this down so that we're creating a nice flat base so that our bowl sits nicely, and you just want to make sure that that's nice and level. That's it. So what I've got to do, I'm just going to take my water bottle. I'm just going to give these little petals a little bit of moisture because it's been sitting in the pot. So I'm just very gently bending, pinching, softening. You just want to wet your finger. And I am going to just shape that form of those leaves. So I'm just going around now, just smoothing off any little imperfections. This is my chance to really just make sure that everything looks the way I want it to, and that there's going to be no sharp edges in my pot. So what I'm going to do is just pop this out into the sunshine, and I'm going to let it firm up a little bit. Then I'll be able to turn it over and start working on the underside and just finishing it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial today. I look forward to following up with the glazing of this beautiful bowl, and yeah, in the meantime, happy potting.